Hello everyone. We're going to start our new project today by going to our data drive, our period folder, and making a new folder for our new project. New folder, today's date 14/09/16, and this project's called All About Me, the video. Now what we're going to be doing is using our pictures from our old project. So you need to make sure that they're all organized with the numbers in front of them. If there's a space, they'll all sort out nicely. You also need to make sure that all of your pictures are good to use. They don't have little watermarks or symbols on them, and there are no guns or other inappropriate material in your pictures. They all need to be high resolution. Okay, so what we're going to do today is start Adobe Premiere. It may start to show up in the short list here, or you can always go to All Programs, Adobe Master Collection, and find Adobe Premiere. The other option is to go ahead and type PR, and look, it already showed up there at the top, and we can select it. The new project that we're going to begin today starts by clicking on the New Project icon and immediately browsing to the folder that we just created. Data drive, your period, and All About Me, the video. Now in order to simplify things, I like to copy the name of the folder with Control-C and then paste it as the name of the project. Makes it easy. Now we're going to be starting this project with a standard 48 DVNTSC format. The frame size is 720 by 480 for this format. It's called standard definition, and all of our pictures should be bigger than that. 1000 at least one of the dimensions. Our first sequence that we create should always be called master, and that is the one that we are going to end up exporting at the end. So if you're familiar with Premiere already, then you'll know what these are, but basically this is the timeline that we just created, the sequence called master. This master sequence starts with 0 seconds and goes forward into the future. This is the current time indicator, or as I call it, the laser pointer, and it can be moved back and forth. It shows whatever's on the timeline at that time, which is nothing at this point in the preview window. So in order to get our pictures into the project, we're going to import them into what I call the asset box. This is where your pictures, your video, your music, anything you want to use in your project is going to be. If you double click inside any blank space there, it will know you want to put something there. The other surefire way to do it is to do File and Import. Notice the keyboard shortcut Control-I. So in order to get to our pictures, I'm once again going to go to my data drive, period 8, and look at my All About Me folder from the last project. If we look inside, we can select pictures from here, or we can choose the easy way, which is to back up a bit and import the entire folder. If you do it that way, all of your pictures will be organized in a folder already. You can open it up with the triangle and see the pictures inside. For each of the categories, we're going to have a different timeline. So I'm going to create a new sequence by clicking on either the New Item button, Sequence, or again, the surefire way of going File, New, Sequence. We should keep the same format for the sequence presets, but we're going to change the name to my first category, 1, Food. This sequence was made inside the folder. I'm going to try and move it outside the folder so that it stays at the master level here. You'll notice now we have 2 sequences. We're going to start with the food by opening up our folder with the pictures in it and either clicking on the pictures, or you can click and drag if you can see all of them. If you're seeing this instead, then you might get something like this, and it's a little harder to select several pictures easily the way I just showed you, so I prefer the list view. I know these are my food pictures because they all have a 1 in front of them. I can grab them by the icon and drag them over to my timeline and place them as a group right at the beginning at 0 seconds. If I move my current time indicator, you'll shortly be able to see the pictures as they are there. I like to zoom in to a closer view by clicking and dragging on the end of the scroll bar. That did not change the length of the pictures. They still all last exactly 5 seconds. That's the default when you import these pictures. That can be changed later, but what we're going to do is change the size. You'll notice that we're very zoomed in on the picture. If you double click on a picture over here, the source monitor will show you the original image, but what's showing up in our preview window is what will show up in the video. I'm going to click on Bluebell Ice Cream and go to the Effect Controls tab. You may have to look for it up here, but anything on the video timeline has a motion and opacity. And what we're going to be working with is opening up the motion and changing the scale. These numbers can be clicked on and you could guess at the size that it needs to be, but it's much easier to click and drag on these golden numbers and change them. So I'm going to find how small I can make it without any black bars. Let me move my current time indicator to my second image and look at its effect controls. And I'm going to scale my strawberry shortcake down until there are no black bars. I'm going to do that for each of my images. That are on my food timeline. Okay, so now we can scrub through this first sequence and we see the pictures changing for our first one. Let me go ahead and make our second timeline by using the New Item button, Sequence, and choosing 2 video games as the title of my second sequence. Now I'm going to get my video game pictures from my folder and put them on my timeline. So now I have 2 sequences. The second one needs to be zoomed in so I can change the scale of my pictures. What you'll notice with this one is that it's very wide. And so when I scale it down and I don't have any black bars, you can only see half of the title of the game. So in this case, I'm going to also scroll the position over to the left. I don't want to go up and down with this one, but if it's the title of a book or something, then more than likely you'll have to adjust this number. Let's go to Fallout here and change the scale down on that one. Ingress and Skyrim. Once again, this picture is very wide, so I have to choose if I'm going to show the dragon's tail or his head. So now I have 2 sequences completed, and I can go to my master sequence and actually put those timelines on them. Anything in your asset box can be manipulated. I can take my food sequence and notice how all the pictures are inside that sequence. And what we're going to be doing next is putting titles at the beginning of each of our categories. If you have extra space that you don't need, you can right-click on it and choose Ripple Delete, and it will bring everything over from there. For right now, our master sequence can just look like that, and you can line them all up. We'll be making titles for each of those, as I said. Last thing I want to talk about today is saving your work. If there's an asterisk at the end of the name, that means your work has not been saved since you've made some changes. Your left hand should learn to automatically go up, your left pinky finger, push down the Control key, and then tap S to save. The asterisk goes away, and that's how you know it's been saved.